Digital Extremes have released the Inaros Prime Access Riven Disposition changes. This video, of course, will be going over the changes specifically, reading out all the numbers and whatnot. First things first, for those that do not know about the Riven Disposition system, every single Prime Access Warframe changes the disposition values of a number of weapons based on the popularity and usage. The following are the comments made by DE. If you're new to the Riven routine or want a refresher on the procedure changes, here's a quick recap of our system for determining numbers. With each new Prime Access, all platforms receive adjustments to the disposition, aka the power level of Rivens based on the weapons they apply to. New numbers are determined by looking at a combination of player usage stats as well as an internal weapon power ranking we maintain. Every unique weapon has its own disposition, even within the same weapon family, like the Bratton vs Bratton Prime. These rankings are still considered in relation to one another, so players aren't necessarily motivated to use a weaker weapon variant for a much more powerful Riven. Dispositions range from 0.5 to a little over 1.5. We will never reduce any disposition by more than 0.2 at once, but we are willing to increase some dispositions by larger values. Lastly, the smallest change we will make is 0.05. Anything less and we'll leave the disposition as is. As for their comments regarding the Inaros Prime Access Riven disposition changes, they've said the following. We understand that reducing disposition on existing weapons is never popular. That's why all new weapons since the Deadlock Protocol have been introduced with the minimum disposition of 0.5. This allows us to see how weapons perform on their own, before allowing access to more powerful Rivens. To support the thinking behind this approach, the 5 guns that have been reduced, in contrast to the 51 that have been increased, were all weapons released in the last year, with a higher starting disposition of 1. Starting at a lower disposition should mean we eventually reach a point where disposition reductions are very rare. Lastly, the biggest changes are happening within melee Riven dispositions, as this is only the second time altering the numbers. So with that introduction said, let's get to the numbers. For primary weapons, the Aceltra has gone from 0.7 to 0.65. The Archiplasmor has gone from 0.55 to 0.65. The Estella 1.15 to 1.2, the Basmu 1 to 1.1, the Catchmoon for primary weapons has gone from 0.5 to 0.75, the Corinth has gone from 0.95 to 1.05, the Corinth Prime has gone from 0.95 to 0.9, the Exorcist has gone from 1 to 1.05, the primary version of the Gaze Kit Gun has gone from 0.5 to 0.65, the Heck 1.15 to 1.2, the Vacor Heck 1.05 to 1.1, the Cooper Brahma 1.8 to 1.65, the Nagan Taka 1.25 to 1.3, the primary version of the Rattlegut Kit Gun 0.5 to 0.6, the Rubico 0.7 to 0.8, the Shadow 0.9 to 0.85, the Soma 1.05 to 1.1, the Stolta 0.5 to 0.7, the Tiburon 0.95 to 1, the Tigris 0.85 to 1, the Sancti Tigris 0.75 to 0.85, the Tigris Prime 0.7 to 0.8, the primary version of the Tombfinger Kit Gun 0.5 to 0.6, and lastly for primary Riven disposition, the Vectis has gone from 1 to 1.05. For secondary Riven dispositions, the Icarius has gone from 1 to 1.05, the Akbolto 1.05 to 1.2, the Telos Akbolto 1 to 1.15, the Akbolto Prime 0.95 to 1.05, the Aklex 0.95 to 1.05, the Aklex Prime 0.8 to 0.85, the Ak Magnus 1.28 to 1.35, the Ak Stiletto 1.65 to 0.8, the Ak Stiletto Prime 1.55 to 0.6, the Scion X 0.8 to 0.85, Euphona Prime 0.7 to 0.75, Fusilier 0.3 to 0.35, the Gamma Core 1.1 to 1.15, Cyanoid Gamma Core 1 to 1.05, the Hekau 1.25 to 1.3, Hekau Prime 1.2 to 1.25, Kuva Kraken 1 to 1.05, the Lex 1.2 to 1.25, Lex Prime 1.15 to 1.2, the Merlock 1.1 to 1.2, the Vacor Merlock 1.05 to 1.1, the Kuva Nukor 0.8 to 0.65, the Ocucore 1.15 to 1.2, the Pandero 1.05 to 1.1, Plinks 1.15 to 1.2, Pox 1.05 to 1.15, the Piranha 0.7 to 0.8, the Quats 1.1 to 1.15, the Sonicor 1.1 to 1.15, Spiro 1.25 to 1.3, Twin Roger 1.25 to 1.3, and lastly for the secondary Riven Dispositions, the Velox 0.5 to 0.8. Now to the long list of melee weapon disposition changes. The Akenbrunt 1.1 to 1.25, Archititron 1.1 to 1.2, Atarax 0.7 to 0.9, Bow Prime 1.29 to 1.35, Bolt Ace 1.15 to 1.2, Broken Scepter 1.3 to 1.35, Broken War 0.95 to 1.05, Castle War 1.15 1.25, the Cobra and Crane 1.15 to 1.25, the Dark Dagger 0.7 to 0.9, Rakta Dark Dagger 0.6 to 0.8, the Tatat Zor 1.1 to 1.15, Dex Darkra 1.25 to 1.3, the Dokram Zor 0.85 to 0.75, the Dragon Nikana 1.25 to 1.2, the Prisma Dual Cleavers 1.05 to 1.1, the Dual Kamas 1 to 1.15, the Dual Kamas Prime 0.95 to 1.05, the Dual Carries 1.35 to 1.2, the Endura 1.2 to 1.3, the Falcor 1.15 to 1.25, the Fragor 1.1 to 1.15, Fragor Prime 0.96 to 1.05, the Galatine 0.7 to 0.85, Galatine Prime 0.55 to 0.65, the Galvacord 1.15 to 1.25, Grand Prime 1.25 to 1.05, the Gunson 1.15 to 1.25, Hate 1.25 to 1.2, the Heliocore 1.1 to 1.25, Cyanoid Heliocore 1.05 to 1.2, the Harudu 0.7 to 0.95, the Jakatag 0.95 to 1.15, Jakassar 0.95 to 1.1, the Kasheg 1.3 to 1.35, Karudu 1.15 to 1.25, Kreska 1.15 to 1.25, the Croaker Zor 1.3 to 1.35, the Cronin Prime 1.25 to 1.05, the Crunch Zor 1.15 to 1.25, the Kuva Shildag 0.85 to 0.75, the Seti Lacera 1 to 1.05, the Lecter 0.7 to 1, the Secura Lecter 0.65 to 0.9. The Legion 0.55 to 0.65, the Magister 1.25 to 1.3, Sancti Magister 1.15 to 1.2, the Massateer 1.05 to 1.15, the Mios 1.1 to 1.2, Maya 1.35 to 1.3. Nami Skylar Prime 1.1 to 1, Nakana 0.7 to 0.8, Nakondi Prime 1.25 down to 1.1, the Obex 1.25 to 1.3, the Prisma Obex 1.1 to 1.2, the Oma 1.1 to 1.15, Okina 1.31 to 1.4, the Uthla 1.1 to 1.15. The Orthos 0.7 to 0.85, Orthos Prime 0.55 to 0.6, the Orvius 1.25 to 1.3, the Paracesis 0.85 to 0.7, Pathicist 1.15 to 1.25, the Pennant 0.9 to 0.85, the Plague Kiwa 0.85 to 0.75, Plague Kripath 0.8 to 0.65, the Pupicist 1.15 to 1.25, the Rav Vizor 1.15 to 1.2, Reaper Prime 1.15 to 1, Redeemer Prime 1 to 0.8. Sindo 1.2 to 1.3, Sindo Prime 1.15 to 1.25, the Sepfan Zor 0.9 to 0.75, Silver and Aegis 1.1 to 1.15, Prisma Skana 1.15 to 1.2, Skana Prime 1.15 to 1.2, The Sidon 1 to 1.15, Vacor Sidon 0.95 to 1.1, Techo Prime 1.35 to 1.3, Twin Basalt 1.25 to 1.3, the Twin Crocker 1.35 to 1.25, the Venka 0.7 to 0.9, the Venka Prime 0.65 to 0.8, Volnus 1.3 to 1.35, the War 0.7 to 0.9, Wolf Sledge 1.1 to 1.2, and lastly, for the melee Riven disposition changes with Inaros Prime Access in July of 2020, the Zenistar 0.7 to 0.95. Lots of reading out numbers with this Riven disposition update. Thanks for listening if you got to this point. It's literally a lot of numbers. And hopefully I helped, because having it as a separate video definitely helps making the patch notes a lot easier and quicker. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.